everyone. Lisa Gifford here and
Margot Rathman.
Yay, I got Margot and camera today. Welcome, welcome. This is Block of the Month, and we are the Tealing Good Block of the Month, and this is month 8. So this is our August show, and we're a little bit behind, but we're getting everything all caught back up. So let me tell you what, we got a really good one today, and actually it's a quick one. It goes by pretty fast, don't it?
Yep.
Margot's been with me all day, so we've been getting everything all prepped and ready to go for today's class. So again, this is month 8. Today is August the 27th. So our next one, our month 9, is going to be in September, and I was getting my phone to find out what that date would be. Holy cow, I lost my phone.
I will step off camera.
Okay, Margot's going to figure out what the date. So it's the last Tuesday in September, and I was going to write that date down, and I didn't write it down in my calendar. But it's the last Tuesday. All of our classes are on the last Tuesday of the month. Did have some issues. Do you see my phone somewhere, Margot?
Heck no.
Hold on. Let me see if I can buzz it. Find my phone.
Oh, I found your phone.
Okay. Oh, got my phone. All right, so we're going to pull up that date for you real quick. Let's see. So the next class is going to be, so I'll go ahead and give you both of the months that we have coming up. To end it, we're so close to being done because this was a 10-month program. So we are in month 8, so we just got 9 and 10, so our September and our October. So our next class will be on September the 24th. That's a Tuesday at 1 o'clock. And then our last class, I think that's the one where we put it all together. It seems like next week we are doing, or next month we're doing, looks like some borders.
Yes.
Or something like some long strips. And so that is on, again, that's on the 24th of September. And then the very last class that we have, where I guess we start putting it all together.
Fun.
Fun. Is going to be October the 29th. So that will be our last class. But while we're on the subject of Block of the Month, I thought today would be a good day to introduce our newest one that's coming. These will probably go on pre-sale in September. We still got to get the kits all made and find out all the things that we're going to be putting in it. And you ready? You ready?
You ready?
Yeah?
You ready?
All right, so the next one, and this one's going to start in January. We're going to start the pre-sales September, October, summer. We're going to start the pre-sales, and then the class will start, again, I haven't figured out the days, but we're going to start in January. And what I love about this one, it's not 10 months, it's a 9-month program, 9-month block of the month. And you might have seen it where we had talked about it earlier. David's here. Oh, wait.
Sorry.
See, now you got to get on camera. I just called you out, bud.
I was just going to grab something real quick. Sorry.
Nothing about
Are
quick.
you live?
Well,
Yes, we're
we're
live.
live.
Sorry.
Like,
Hi, everybody. Sorry. I'm out of these completely. It's like I'm ganking Lisa's.
oh, hold on. I might have one over here. Look down there.
Thanks,
Might be
man.
another one.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
You're-
you. Sorry to interrupt.
Hey, I just saw the newspaper article.
Yeah.
I just got the post on it.
I tried to get out.
And I think there's some more in the other room. Did you see them?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
No, wait. Really, there were some
I
more.
did look. I didn't see him. But
Hold
I'm
on.
going to get out of here so I stop bothering you.
I know where
If
they
I
are.
can get this to stop falling, I'll be out of here sooner.
Okay.
We take care of that, David. Don't worry
All
about
right,
it.
thank you all. Appreciate it.
So yeah, David just
everybody.
says his popping in. All right. So again, this is this one here. So we were talking about the next block of the month. So that one again, and I'm going to go ahead and have Olivia pull it up on the screen. It is ready. It is Mystic Vineyard. And remember, we had several months ago. I had put several up and was kind of getting a vote on what did you all think. And this one right here, this project right here, this quilt got the most of all of the votes of the 4 or 5 that I had posted. This one received the most votes on it. Again, this is Block of the Month. It's Mystic Vineyard. It is another batik project. It is a queen size quilt, so I think it's slightly larger than the one that we're working on right now. The one that we're working on right now is, I'm trying to pull this one up. This one is 98. The one that we're doing right now is 98 by 102 when it gets done. This one here is 97 by 106. It actually has more yards of fabric than the one that we're working on right now. I can't remember how many yards was in this one, But the one that's coming up is over 20 yards of fabric. So it's like 20 yards and 3/8, or almost 20 and a half yards of fabric. And that's not including the backing. So that's all the whole quilt top, and I think the binding is in there. So this is the next one that we're going to be starting the pre-sales on it. Again, it's over 20 and a half yards. So you're going to get like what we did before. We're going to give you all the fabric to make it. You're going to get the instructions if you want to do it block of the month with us. But I'm also going to give you the the kit instructions if you just want to make the whole kit without doing the block of the month. You have those instructions on it too. And then I'm going to figure out which tools and templates would work really good with this one so that you have an opportunity to add those also. But again, this one, the block size is a little bit smaller. On this one that we're doing right now, our Tealing Good, all of our finished blocks were 12.5 inches. From what I can see on this one, most of the blocks, just about all of the blocks, are unfinished at 10.5. So it's a little bit smaller in the blocks, but it's absolutely beautiful. I love the color combination. The fabrics have already come in. They're stunning. And I know we're going to have enough kits available to make 19, 20 kits that we will have available. So just bear with us as we get all of the kits put together and what are the goodies we can add to it. But no, it's over 20 yards, almost 20 and a half yards to do this one. So it's going to be absolutely fun. Looking forward to it. And it's not as many flying geese. I saw that. So this one, the one that we did here, we learned a lot about flying geese and covered corners and stitch and flip and block and a block. Seems like what I saw more in this one was half square triangles is what I saw. A lot of half square triangles. I saw a couple flying geese. So it's just a really good technique. I'm really looking forward to doing this one, and I hope you are too. So this one's coming up. We will start this one in January, and we'll start the pre-sales probably sometime in September. So again, that was Mystic Vineyard. It's also by Wilmington, and it is a 9-month program. So instead of being done in November, we'll be done with it in October.
Yay.
Great, great project. All right, so let's go back to where we are today. So we are on block of the month. This is month 8, and we were doing block 10A and 10B. So what we've learned about the A and Bs is that they're basically a mirror image. So let's walk over to my design wall where I've got all the ones that we've done so far and now the ones that we're getting ready to do. So let's head on over there. You follow me, Margot?
I'll follow you.
She's following me. She put all these up for me today. So starting off, here we are. Have you stay on that side, you can point on this one. All right, starting with January. If you remember, we started off in January with we did 2 blocks that month. We did block 1, we only had to make 1 of those. And then we did block 8, this one right here. We had to make 4 of those. So that was our very first month in January. We got those done. Moving into February, we had 2 blocks that we did on that one. We did block 2 and block 7. So that was our February. We made 4 of block 2 and 4 of block 7. Then going into March, block 3, we made 4 of block 3. That's where we learned we were doing a 16 patch in the center, and then we just surrounded it. Just a really nice flip and stitch. Really nice technique that we learned on that one. Going into April, we did block 4, and this is right here. So we learned how to make a 4 patch on point. So again, we had our half square triangles and our flying geese units, and we made 4 of these in April. May is when we did our first A and B block. So this was block 5. So we had some mirror imaging going on with this one. So this is block 5. And we did this one in May, and this was A, block A, 5A, and then 5B. So the only thing that was really flipped in this one was these cornerstones right here. So that was the only thing that was changed. The whole block was pretty much the same except for the cornerstones. Then we had month 6, or June, block 6. Gave us a little bit of break, beginning of summer, so we only had to make 4 of this one. And this is where we revisited doing half square triangles, and we did the flying geese unit. So kind of was an easy block for us for the month of June. And then we went into July, and I hope you can see these okay. So this was last month. Now we're calling it July, even though we literally only did this one 2 weeks ago. So this was another A and B unit. Again, it's just where it just got flipped. Now the only difference on this one was you made it all exactly the same, our flying geese units, but this unit just got turned, and then that's how block 9A and B. You had to make 4 of the A's and 4 of the B's, but you did all of this the same, you just turned it in a different direction. So you have the geese flying east and the geese flying west. So this one is block 9. Today, we are going to be talking about block 10, A and B, and this one also is a mirror image. And it's done exactly the same, except here's where our changes are. Our changes are going to be in the direction of what these 2 pieces are, here and here, and then the direction of what these 2 pieces are. But then you're making the flying geese all the same, you're just flipping it the other way. So we got covered corners, we got half square triangles, again, stitch and flip covered corners, and flying geese. And this is block 10, A and B. So this is the one we're doing today. Next month, we got some long ones that we're going to be doing for our block, for September. And I guess those are going to be like framing the pieces. So most of these pieces, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of these that we've already done makes that big centerpiece that we're going to be putting together on our 10th month when we start assembling everything. So it's just really fun to see how far we've come and what this is going to be at the very end. So let's go ahead and we'll get started on our cuttings for this one right here. This is block 10A and B. So let's head over back to our cutting station. All right, again, some of the tools that we always use for every one of these, I use a boatload of using the little Post-it notes because I label and mark everything. Of course, our rotary cutter and the templates of, if you got the template kit that came with, if you got the optional template kit, the templates that I used the most in this project was the 3.5-inch square. I used our 4-inch square and the 3.5 by 6.5. These are the ones that I used the most in the constructing and doing all the cutting for this one. All right, so I see I got some on here. Do I have any, and I'm going to, periodically I'll ask Olivia, do we have any questions? Is everybody up to where we are so far? Everybody good?
Just lots of pillows.
Hey, hello. Hey, my Aunt Peggy's on. There's, hey, Aunt Peggy. How you doing? Hey, Amy. Hi, Amy. Good to see you. Who else do I got on here? Oh, Miss Courtney. I can't.
It's hard for us to read.
Yep. There's Connie McCoy and Richard Babb. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Miss Kaufman is on. I couldn't see the name of the other person. Go down a little bit, and it was. Oh, look, there's the article. She just stuck that on there. Let's see. So that's the Pensacola News Journal. They were here Friday, and I had no idea that it was already out. Courtney Govio? I can't read it very well. But thank you so much for hanging out with us today, Ms. Courtney. And as always, please like, comment, and share. You don't even have to have the kit to follow along. It's just a lot of fun to watch somebody sit and sew, right?
Yeah.
And that's basically what we're going to be doing. I'm going to go over the cutting, and we're going to make blocks 10A and B today with you. All right, so let's move on. So the fabrics that you had to pull for today's block was fabrics E, fabric F, G, M, O, S, and T. So those are the fabrics that we had to pull for these, and all of them were labeled. And then we're going to go into our different cuttings. So let's go ahead and start with that. So going into fabric E, we had to cut 32 3.5-inch squares. So I have them right here. 32 3.5-inch squares. So I just cut my 3.5-inch strip, and then I pulled out my little 3.5-inch square, and I just sliced them down until I got to where I had 32 of the E units. This one, and it's 32 3.5-inch squares. So that was our first cut that we had to have for E. Going into fabric F, we had to cut 3.5-inch strips and then subcut into 16 3.5 by 6.5. So this is where I pulled out the 3.5 by 6.5, and we cut up all of our F units, and that's what I have right here. All the 3.5 by 6.5. So you had to get all those all cut, and there was only 16 of those. Then let's go into G. G, we had to cut 3.5-inch strips, and we had to have, just like E, we had to have 32 3.5-inch squares and 16 of the 3.5 by 6.5-inch rectangles. Going into M, we had to have 4-inch squares, so I pulled out the 4-inch square, and I actually pulled through some of the extra fabric that I had without cutting up the piece that I had set aside, and I cut out my 4-inch squares from that one. So that was M. And then you had to have, let's see, 3. So this one was a little bit different. I had to have a total of 8 3.5 by 12.5-inch rectangles. So I just cut my strip by 3.5 and then just cut them down into 12.5 inches. So going into O, we had to have 4-inch squares. Then we had to have 16 3.5-inch squares. So again, just cutting my strips, using my template, and breaking it down. That was O. So going into S, we had to have 8 3.5-inch squares. And then finishing up with T, we had to have 8 3.5 by 9.5-inch pieces. So I just go ahead, just cut my strips in 3.5 and then subcut it into 9.5-inch. And that was everything. So let's go now under line item 3, and it tells us placing to get us all started. So this is the piecing order for month 8. You're going to draw a diagonal line across all of the wrong sides, and so you're either going to use your pencil or you're going to use your chalk pencil. You're going to have to draw a line on the backs of all E, G, O, and S's. So all of your 3.5-inch squares, you have to draw a line on the back, unless you have the diagonal seam tape, which I have the diagonal seam tape, so I'm using that in place of it. But go ahead and get all of your lines drawn on the back of all of your E, O, G, and S. And if I remember correctly, there was quite a few of them. You had to have 32, so it's that. There's a lot. 64. Let's see, E, G, so 32, 32.
That's 64.
And then all the O's, was it O's and S's? So O's, you had to have 12 of those, and then S's, I believe you had to have
a lot. 8
of those. So you had to draw your lines on the back of all of those. And then this is where you're going to start using, we're going to be doing this is where we're doing flying geese units. So we're going to start off with Unit 1A. Unit 1A. And that is going to be this one right here. And it tells us to grab, you need for Unit 1A, you got to have your F. And the F's, if you remember going back, it's your 3.5 by 6.5-inch pieces. So this is your F. So you've got to have 16 of those. So you're going to grab all of your F's. And then you're going to grab your G's, which are the 3.5 squares. And these are the ones you drew your line on. And you're going to put a G on the corner of all of your F's on each side. So you're going to make your flying geese out of the G's and the F's. So I got those all ready to do. So I went ahead and put them together. So I know that these are my flying geese units. This makes Unit 1A. So I go ahead and have my little Post-it note ready. So when I get all these sewn, Unit 1A is going to be all of these pieces. Then Unit 1B is taking our G units that are 3.5 by 6.5, and then taking our 3.5-inch squares, which are E's, and we're going to put G's and E's together to make more flying geese, and that's going to be our Unit 1B. So you have to do 16 of them, so we're just going to be making one of each block, so I'm going to be doing four for this one. So I got unit A, 1A and unit 1B. So we sewing all those up. And then taking a look at line item number 3 on the wrong side of all the O's, those were our 4-inch squares. Grabbing the 4-inch O's, you're going to draw a line from corner to corner. So this is where you're going to make our half square triangle units. So you have to make a total of 8 of those. So you're going to just have 4 that you're going to be cutting, because for every 2 pieces of fabric, an O and an M that you put together is going to make you 2. So you need 2 per block, correct? Nope, you just need the 1 per block. There it is. So nope, 1 here, 1 here. 1 for A and 1 for B. So you have 1 for A and 1 for B in just the 2 pieces right here. So you'll make a half square triangle, and that's going to be our unit 2 out of the O and the M's, the 4-inch squares. And then we go into number 5. This is where we're going to be making our units 3A and 3B. So these are mirror images. So you're going to grab your M units, which were the long, the M units were the 3.5 by 12.5. And you're going to grab your O and S's that you drew your line, your 3.5-inch squares, and you're going to be doing covered or stitch and flip on both sides of the M's. You got to pay attention to the photo, because O and S is on one side, and then it's flipped for the B unit. So you be sure to watch that. And then finishing out that one, that's our there. Then we go now to a final unit that we're going to be making, and that is our unit 4A and B. So this is where we grab our T's, which we had those cut at 3.5 by 9.5, and then we're just putting an O on the opposite side on the bottom of the T unit. So you've got one that's going to be going to the left and one that's going to be going to the right. And so that was done with our O's. So that one, you make one that's for A, one is for block A and one is for block B. So those are all the sewing that we're going to be doing on this one. So I'm going to just go ahead and start with our unit 1A, and we're going to start getting these sewn. And I'm going to sew up the 1As and the 1Bs. I can chain piece those, and Margot's going to be grabbing them, and she's going to be pressing them back for me, and trimming them down so then I could get the second side. Because when you make a flying geese, you've got to make the one side first, press it back, trim it before you can add the other side. So we're going to start on the unit A's, and then we'll do the unit 1B's. Y'all ready? Okay, let's get started. We'll start with the A's, and they're both the same. You're using the F, which is the 3.5 by the 6.5, and you're just using the G's, which are all the 3.5-inch squares. Now, what I have on my machine is I have the, we figured it out, it's that diagonal seam tape that we've been talking about. So it makes it so much easier I don't have to follow draw the line on there. I can literally just follow this line right here. And if you don't have the diagonal seam tape, you might want to pick it up. It's fairly inexpensive and it works really good. Except you have to replace it every now and then. As you're sliding fabric across it, it has a tendency to lift. I guess that's why we get such a big roll of it. So, because you'll be replacing it a lot as you're working with it. All right, so I have my machine set up, and I'm using black thread today because it was a project I had just done, and it was in, I had used the black thread, and this works fine because there's a lot of darks. Sometimes I've been using light, white thread, sometimes I'm using black thread, but it'll all turn out in the end. And I have my machine set up for this, where I've got my needle in the middle. So, and I have it at 1.8, so it's a really tight stitch length. And we're just going to start by putting the first half of the covered corners on. And then I'll get these to Margot, and she can get these pressed back, and we'll trim them down. And then we'll get to the second half of the flying geese unit. I always like to start with a little leader. Again, these are always so hard to figure out. Margot says there is no right or wrong side, right, Margot?
Right.
But sometimes I can see that there's a right or wrong. Right, so I'm going to get this all lined up. And we're just going to sew. Now, if I had my line, I would be sewing right on the line, but I'm going to follow my line here. I'm gonna still flip them because it's what I do. Sorry, Mark. I'm gonna still flip them around because I'm always trying to figure out which one is the better one. Again, I'm just making the A and B units for us today, but you would actually be sewing all 16 pieces. I'm just doing 4. That wasn't nice. It tried to unthread itself. Ever had that happen? Here we go. She's got 2 of them. She's gonna have to work on them. It wadded around the needle. I didn't like that.
Again?
Yes, it did. Can I have my little leader? Oh, here it is. Got my leader. All right, so we're going to do this again. Make sure everything's still lined up. And then one more. I think it's the other way. Now you do roll them back, making sure everything looks good before you
Cut
start
'em?
pressing.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Okay, because that's what I do. And while she's finishing up those, I'll go ahead and start on our Unit 1Bs because it's just the G and the E units on this one. Now, if you're drawing your line, I like to sew just like a thread over to the left of that line or to the right of that line. It just seems to make it, you just got to play with it. That helps you with when you flip it back. When you are flipping it back, before you even cut, you want to make sure that your fabric completely covers the edge because we don't want to change the size of the block. So when I fold this back and just giving it a quick press, I see that my edges are all lining up with the edges of my original block. So that's what we're looking for. So you might have to play with it a little bit to make sure you're getting your position in the right you're getting it in the right position for when you're, if you're sewing on the line. Or to me, when I sew on the line, I'm sewing just a thread or 2 over from the line because I'm taking into account that just the fold itself takes up a little bit. You're sewing this way. I just got turned around, Margot. What am I doing? I'm doing this side, so it's coming from here. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to always be flipping, always trying to figure it out. All right, so I got the first half. these units done. Margot's going to get them all pressed back for us.
Hot, hot,
She'll let me
burny,
know if I
burny.
need to change anything, if I screwed up something. Hot, hot, burny, burny.
Hot, hot, burny, burny.
Iron's going to be hot. All right, so here's the first 4 of this one. So now I'm going to pull these fabrics back over. All right, so now we're going to start our second side. And that didn't start off right.
We're having cake downstairs for Carly's day.
Okay. Who?
For Carly.
Okay. We're filming.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
We'll send you some cake.
All right, thank you. All right, so here is, so these, once Margot gets these finished up, then we'll have all of Unit A's done. Now let me get that started on the B's. Here.
Did I give you one?
Nope, you didn't.
Those
This is
ones
a-
are one. This one here is a little wonky.
Oh, gotta fix one. Ooh, man, I got bad. That's bad.
It's a little wonky.
All right, so I'm gonna fix this one. This one's of the B units, right?
This is the one I'm looking on right now.
I did not. I got off wrong on this one, so let's fix this one.
Just a little bit.
Oh, I was way off bad on this one. Holy cow!
These scissors are unbelievable.
It's the new scissors.
Martelli scissors
Oh yeah,
cut like butter.
yes they do.
There's that one done.
This does not want to rip out very well. The whole thing is wrong.
Uh-oh.
All right, so we're ripping out one of them. I tried to do my magic with the seam ripper, but it didn't want to play. And I don't want to rip the fabric, so I'm just being extra careful. All right, get all these extra threads off.
We've got some more hellos.
Hello, who do we have on with us today?
Joan, Patricia, and Verna.
Thank you
Ah.
guys.
Hey.
I got Margot with me today.
Hey, everybody.
All right, we're going to do better on this one, Margot. I'm going to do better. I was way off on this one. I had my head in the sand. Let's see if we got this one right. Might have my head in the sand with this one too. I don't know. Oh, we got it.
Got it?
There we go.
Okay.
Diane said happy belated birthday, Margot.
Thank
Yay, she had a
you.
good day.
I had an awesome day.
Hubby made her a cake.
Harvey Wallbanger cake. Which made
Now,
me-
how many of y'all have heard of the Harvey Wallbanger cake? I had never heard of it.
What is that?
It's a cake called Harvey Wallbanger.
It has Galliano in it and something
Vodka.
else, which
Some
I
vodka.
don't.
Isn't it vodka?
Vodka.
I don't know. So it's
And
got
so-
it's an adult cake.
It's an adult cake.
It's an adult cake.
Yes, it's an adult cake for sure.
So now everybody's looking it up. What's a Harvey Wallbanger cake?
Look it up.
I had to. I had never heard of it.
Yes.
Margot says it's her favorite cake.
Well, it used to be
Used to be.
until it made me sick.
What? What? 1, 2. Did I
Until
sew
it made me
2 on
sick.
at a time or something? Because
What?
I have 1, 2, 3 here, yet I have 1, 2.
And I just gave you the fourth one.
I know, and I've got 2.
Oh.
So I wonder if I sewed 2 in its place. I don't know where it went. That one's done.
That one's done.
You'll have to cut me another block. I'm short one of these 3.5-inch squares. I've done that. Sew 2 blocks, sew 2 pieces of fabric on
It's easy to do with batiks.
batiks. Yeah. So which one is this one's unit 1B, right? So unit 1B needed E's. So I need an extra E. Where are my E? So it's right here. And let's make sure. Yep, I'm sure. Well, there it is. I see it on the floor. Found it.
Found it.
It's underneath the chair.
it. The floor stole it.
I thought I counted it right, but here floor had it. Got it.
Floor stole it.
Yep. All right. And then the last one. All right, I'm going to hand these to Margot. She'll finish these up. And these are the Unit 1Bs. And you're finishing up the 1As, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Nice. So you need to have, do all 16, but I'm doing, so you need 2 for each block. That works pretty good, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's all the 1s. And here are the B units.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to set these aside. And we'll go on to the next one. So I just finished up all the 1As and 1Bs. So looking at 9, item number 3, you're going to grab your 4-inch squares that are going to be your half square triangles. So this is, you're putting your O, your 4-inch O's and your 4-inch M's together, O and M's. You need to draw a line down the center on the back of your O's because it's a lighter fabric. Place them right sides together, and we're going to sew a 1/4 inch on each side of this line. When we do that, a 1/4 inch here and here. After we do that, we're going to cut it in half, open it up, and we'll have 2 blocks that are that we'll have to trim down to 3.5 inches. Again, this is your O and M units. So you'll be doing this, I think it's 4, so you would make them 4. So every piece, every 2 pieces will make you 2 blocks. So I'll get this one trimmed, sewn. So this is where I put my machine back on my 1/4 inch setting. And if you are doing the scant quarter, I'm going to go ahead and just, I don't really think I need to do it on this one because you square it down anyway. But I got it on my 1/4 inch setting. And we're just going to follow, my foot is going to ride along this line right here, and it's going to sew a 1/4 inch on each side. So I'm going to start down one side, and then I'll come up, flip it around, and do the other side. Go ahead and cut this apart. And then I'll hand it to Margot and she will press it back and then we'll trim it down. So you're just cutting on that line that you had sewn. And then we're going to press this toward the dark side, and then we're going to trim this down to 3.5 inches because if this is as it is over 3.5 inches. You're just basically just going to be cutting, trimming off just a sliver probably all the way around to get it to that 3.5 inches. I'm going to hand these to Margot. She's going to get these all pressed for us. You ready with those?
Mm-hmm.
Joan said, glad to know that I'm not the only one that loses fabric pieces on the floor.
All the time. It just gets shoved around here and there. This is the 1Bs. All right, so we'll set these aside. Just going to get those done. I'm going to move on to the next one.
You want these? Do you want these pressed open?
Now let's just press it to the dark
To the
side.
dark side.
All right, so I'm going to set these. So we've got what did I do with the first grouping? What did I do with the A? Oh, here. So here's my 1A. Here's my A's and B's. So 1A's, 1B's. So those are done. Now we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and clip these. Keeping them all together. She's working on this unit 2s. That's the half square triangle. So let's move on down to number 5. Item number 5, we're taking our long M's and we're putting the O's and S's on it. So the A, unit 3A, you'll be making 4 of those. So you're going to have, as I'm looking at it, I have my S is going to be on my right and my O is going to be on my left. And then when I do my B unit, it's going to be flipped around. My O is going to be on my left and my, my S is going to be on my right. So I've got them all right here in front of me, and we're going to go ahead and get our M and O and S's done. So this is going to make unit 3A and unit 3-4. You walking in front of the camera, girl?
Yeah, I just forgot where I was.
And before I do that, we're going to go ahead and get these squared up. So this is how I like to square up my blocks. These have to be, if you're looking at the O and M units that you make 8 of them, the half square triangles, because you're just sewing 4 of them, then they make 8 when you cut them in half. You're trimming them down to 3.5 inches. So this is where I'm grabbing my 3.5 inch square. what I am going to do is I'm going to take the point on opposite sides, and that point is going to sit right here on the seam. And then we're going to just trim it down from there. So I'm just laying it on here, putting the point, the opposite diagonal point, onto the seam. I'm thinking Olivia can get a shot of that, but right there it's on the seam, right there it's on the seam. So then I'm just going to trim. If you can notice, it's just a sliver that's going to be trimmed off as we go all the way around. So these templates are just perfect for that. So you just cut, turn, and while you're doing that, you're actually cutting off those little dog ears. So there's a 3.5 inch square. Now there's another way to do this. If I had not if Margot had not pressed this open like this, she hadn't have pressed it. So I'm going to show you on this side. Here's another way that you can do this where you have less cutting. So here is the block as we had cut it in half, and this is what you have. So you're going to see my dark stitch right here. So if you want to do your 3.5 inch square before you even opened it up and pressed it, you're going to set your template that same points that we just did where we put it on the seam. Now we're going to set it right there on that thread that's going across. So you're going to be cutting off the dog ears here, and you're just going to be trimming here and here. So you're just going to put the point on the stitch line that you had just done. The point on the stitch line, there and there. And now you're going to, I have to move this one just a touch. So you're just going to trim here, here, and then the little dog ears coming off. Less cutting. It's another way that you can get your 3.5 inch blocks done. So once this is pressed open, it will be 3.5 inches square, just like that. So you could do it two different ways, while it's still folded or after you've already opened it up. So these are done. So this is the unit 2. Two different ways that you can do your trimming on this one. All right, so let's get the next stuff done. That's these right here. These will go pretty quick, so I'm going to start with the S's. And the O's onto our long M unit. Putting my, get my needle back in the center. And these are like you're going to be stitching those flying geese unit where you're just going to follow, if you drew the line, you're just going to follow your line down. This one I drew the lines on. So now I'm going to do the other side. Get my little leader. And we'll get the O on here. I think I got a little thick on that one, so let's make sure I can cover it. So before we go send it over, I'm going to fold this back, make sure it's reaching to the edges, and guess what? It is not, so we get to redo that one. This one is, this one's not either. What the heck did I do wrong, Margot? I got to rip this one completely out. That one's just bad. We're going to redo this one. Holy cow. Oh, I don't know what I did wrong. I did something opposite. That was awful. Neither of them were reaching the top. So we're going to do this one again.
She got rambunctious.
I did. Margot's throwing me off. We'll just play more. Is it you, Mark?
Me being here threw her off.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it's
I
black
did that one
stitches, and
so
I
bad.
and I can't even see the thread.
We'll probably just pull out another. We'll just pull out another one from the pile. We just redo it. Let's see if I get this one better. I don't know what I did wrong, but that was awful. It's like the worst one. I did both sides bad. All right, that one's good. Let's see if I can get this side better. I must have been talking too much. That's probably what it was. See if we can get this side better. You know what? I might not have had it lined up on the template and the block properly. Try this. All right, this one's good.
That one's good.
Yeah, so this one is 3B. So let me just pull out another 3A. All right, so it was an M. It's an M and an O and an S. So that is right here. So we're just going to grab another one of these. And then I'll replace that one later.
Later, Gator.
We don't have to sit there and rip it out. And 3A and B's. Get all of my clips back in. This is one we're redoing, right? So I've got to get the light on this side and the green on that side. Okay. Let's fold it back, make sure we got this one right. What am I doing wrong, Margot?
Is it wrong?
This is all wrong. It's wrong again.
How much?
It's fallen off by 1/8 of an inch in the center. Am I catching it on the wrong side? I'm really messing these up today. Don't know. I do not know. My technique's not good. So I'll do it again. I'm gonna watch it. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, I ripped it up. That didn't work.
You can't do that with batiks, Lisa.
No, batiks don't do that. You're not learning that one. We're going to redo this again. I do not know why my blocks are. Let me make sure I got my. I know I cut all these at 3.5. 1, 2, 3.5, right on the money. So I don't know what's going on. Am I not catching it right under there? Do I not have my foot in the right position? Let me take a look at that. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing different? So this is O here. Here and here. Goes here and here. This is the one we got to redo. So we're going to try this again. I'm using the seam guide, the line here. I need to be slightly over for my thread count. Okay, let's try this. Let's try this again. We're going to take it a lot slower. Make sure I'm lined up on the edges on the back side and the front side. Edge to edge to edge. Okay, Margot, here we go. We're going to follow this point all the way down. Take it a lot slower. Let's see if we got it this time. Weird. Clip this off. What do you think? I think we'll pass that one. Now this one has got to come this way. I'm going to line this up. We're going to go from the bottom corner and up. Because it's like an elongated flying geese, I guess that's how I could best describe it. Elongated. But it's not meeting in the middle. Try this one, Margot. Let's see if I get it this time. Stay right here. Nothing like screwing up a couple times on the same block. Keep you humble. All right, so that one's, I think I got it this time.
All right.
So that was the B unit, right?
Uh-huh.
And this is the one I've got to rip out, so I'm going to put a, was that A or B?
That one's the one right there.
This one is A.
That
so
one's
A
good.
is good.
And that one's the one right there.
And so the B is the one we got bad.
Yeah.
And then I've got to have to do a whole new cutting for the one I ripped up. All right, so we're moving on. And I'm going to get my highlighter. And we're going to mark this so I know that this is the one I've got to replace.
2 times. 3 times.
Well, no, just this one. I just got to recut another 3.5, 3.5, and
Yeah.
what, 3.5 by 12.5. I got to cut 3 more pieces.
Yeah.
And I have enough scraps left over, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to make the rest of these, which I probably won't be getting to these today. I'll probably be, it'll be one day next week. Or we get into these. So here is these, all the O's. And these were the S's, right? O's and S's. O's and S's were the ones that was in this unit. Opposite. Here are the S's. This is the bad one. So that should be that one right there, right? That would be the, is that the B? This is, should be the opposite of this one. This one
That's
should be
right.
A. This is
This
A
A.
and this is B.
Yes.
Let me look at the picture. Unit 3A and B.
Yep.
We're doing both of them. So Unit 3A is the O is on my left and the S is on the right. So this is the A. And then this one is the B. Let me get my little post-it on there. Unit 3A. And that's this one. So we're going to post this one down. A and B's are done. So these are the ones right here. So we've got 1A, 1B, Unit 2s, 3A, 3B, and we just got this one left. So this is the unit, this is where we take the T's and the O's. So you're putting, stitch and flip, but it's going to be at the bottom of the T, and it's on opposite sides. So here's my T and O. So the TA is where I've got my covered corner on my right, and the other one's going to be on my left. So I'm going to stitch this one down here to here. And this one is unit A, so I'm just going to go ahead and tack it on the opposite side. And this one is unit B. Make sure I got that right. It is going to be on the left side of the T. So you make 4 of A's and 4 of B's. There you go. Get my little leader started and see if I can get these right. Okay. It's lined up. I'm doing opposite. We'll see. And this goes back this way, right? Yeah, that goes this way. All right, so I think I got that one. And now, oh, I need my, grab that. Now this one is the B, and it gets folded down this way. Okay.
Donna says hi.
Hey, Miss Donna. Everybody doing good where you are? I was seeing on the news that the Northeast is getting a heat wave today.
Yeah.
My son, who lives in New Jersey, heat index of 106.
Oh, God.
That's awful for up there. So then this one comes down this way. Let's see if we covered it pretty good. Yeah, that's going to work. So that one. We got A and B units done. Now we're going to build our block. This one's the A. All right. So 10A and 10B. So let's grab our flying geese units. So looking at 10A, all of my geese are flying, the points are pointing towards my right. So you put 2 of the A's together. And I think the whole, they're either going to be this way, because even if you just flip it, it's going to be the exact same. So you got A and A. So we're going to just stack these up, A and A. And then you take your B units, B and B. So if I just sew all of these together, and it's all going in this direction, once I have it all sewed together and I just turn it this way, so now it's all going to be going in the other directions, your A's to your B's, as it shows you in block 10B. So I'm just going to have these all stacked up right here on my board. And I'm just going to sew these sew these together, then sew these together, and then press them, and then we'll sew these 2 units together to create this unit. Yeah, I think that's what we do. So So Margot, so the A's first, so I don't get them turned around. The A is lighter than the B. So what you're looking for here is you're not going to lose your points if you've got plenty of a seam allowance there, and from what I'm looking at here, I've got plenty to work with. So I'm taking my 2 and I'm bringing 1 over. Now if you want to watch where your points are, you could go on the other side and stitch, and then you know right here is where your point is so you don't lose your point. We'll try and put us on our 1/4 inch seam allowance. I am flipping it over so I can watch, make sure I don't lose, inadvertently sew up my point on the inside. Here's our A's. And we'll do now get our 2 B's together.
Ooh, this handle's getting hot.
Huh?
I said
Yeah,
the
the
handle's
iron's
getting
hot.
hot.
Getting us a new iron. This one has been getting too hot and it's been smoking, so we got a new iron on order.
A purple one.
A purple one, yep. Wanted the teal one and they didn't have it. All right, here's the B units. Oh, you're pressing the seams open?
Yeah, in the middle.
Okay. All right, so she's going to get those because now I'm going to sew the A's and the B's together. And then we build our block. So all the A's are together. I have an A. Grab my unit 4A and 4B. I've got to add something to those, I think. Yeah, the half square triangles. So for the top of the blocks, you're putting your U4As together and the U4Bs together with the half square triangles. So the half square triangle can go in either direction. So I'm going to set this one here. It's going to go on this side, and this one will go here, like this. So we're going to sew these two and these two together. So I'll get these sewed. And then have Margot press these, and then I'll put the A's and B's together of the flying geese. And this one's a 1/4 inch sewing. These two are done. Press those, ma'am. Thank you. All right, now we're going to sew these together. Making sure all of my geese are going in the same direction. Flip it over so I can make sure I don't sew off my point. So we got the unit for A and B's with the added half square triangles that we had to have on that one. And that is the top of both the unit A blocks and the B blocks. So let's make sure we get them in a right. So here's the B. Get all these little pieces out of the way. And we'll start building our block. We'll do the A first. So looking at our photo, this goes here. And then we're going to get our U3A, that's this one right here, and it's going to go on the bottom down here. The flying geese unit will fit right here. And this is what's going to make block 10A. You got one done?
Got one done.
Thank you. So the geese on to 10A, as I'm seeing it, I have my geese going towards the right. My arrows are pointing to the right. So in lining this up, I don't really have any seams to line up except maybe this one right here. And then they just kind of all work out from there. So we're going to attach this to the top, this one to the bottom, and then this block will be the 10A will be done. And then we'll do our 10B.
C'est tout fini.
Huh?
C'est tout fini. It's
fini?
done.
What?
C'est tout fini. French. That one's done.
Tout fini.
C'est tout fini. That one's done.
Tout fini. She speaks French over here.
Ha ha ha.
I don't do anything about that. I'll be right to sneeze. Ew,
Bless you.
excuse me. All right, so I'm lining this up, and we're going to stitch this down, 1/4 of an inch all the way down. Again, the only one that has to line up is down here on the bottom. See it right there. I think I have no points to lose on this section, just stitching it on. Try to nest that seam and then flip it back once we get it done. That's stupid right there. I'm gonna go ahead and get the other side sewn on it.
Okay.
All right, and then, hold on. Yes, the narrow up on top. So we get this side on, and then Margot will get this all pressed. Margot, here you go. Look how well those lined up. They lined up so pretty.
Pretty.
So that was A. And now you're just flipping your geese around to get your B done. So this one goes down here. Geese are pointing to the left, and the main U2 and U4B is right here, goes right here on top. So we'll flip this over, stitch it on, and then flip this one up and stitch it on, and we'll be done with the 10B block. And you'll be making 4 of each one of them. Yay! Getting there, Margot, we're getting there. Did anybody say they'd seen the article in the Pensacola News Journal? I talked about it.
No, I didn't.
You posted it though, didn't you? I didn't even know. I guess it came out on Friday. No, wait. I don't know what day it came out. Saturday? Was it Saturday? Here to here. And then to the end.
And
Is that looking pretty?
looks pretty. Look at those points.
All the trouble I had to get those points, let me tell you. I really screwed up this block this time. Even tore up a block in the process. All right, so we got one more side to do. Don't want to lose my points on this one. I might flip this one over. Let me see. Nah. I think I'll just keep my 1/4 inch. You'll be fine.
I got a comment in French.
What? What?
No doubt.
What does it say, Olivia? What does it say?
Très, très bien, mes amis.
Come on, Margot.
I don't know if I pronounced it right.
Ways and me is my friends. Oh, never.
Put Margot on the spot, didn't we?
Very good, ways and me. Bon, 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 bon.
Yeah, it's spelled like
Bien. B-I-N or B-E-I-N? Bien, bien, bien. Very good.
What is it?
Bien. Very good, ways and me. Bien, bien, very good.
You would know. French is a very beautiful musical language, though, that's for sure.
When I was a little girl,
Uh-huh.
my mamé is French for grandmother, grandmère, right? Mamé, spoke French, obviously. And my daddy and my my aunts and uncles all spoke French when they didn't want the kids to know what they were saying. So we learned French in that regard. So when I was little, mostly bad words I learned.
Mostly bad words. All right, that's a little bit better. We'll see. There we go. I was a little too thin on my simulants. There you go. It's been a minute since you've lived up there, though, hasn't
It's
it?
been a long time since
Yeah.
I spoke French. But I took French in grade 9 and grade 10.
Yeah?
Yeah. But if you don't continue it, you lose it.
True. All right, so that is all of these.
I sing opera in French.
Do you?
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God! I would love to hear that.
I'd love to sing to you sometime.
Have you gotten your
Oh.
video done for banana pancake? Is it pancake? Banana pancake, right?
Pancakes.
It's just pancake. I don't know why I'm thinking banana pancake. Got bananas on the brain.
It's a different song.
Oh, that's
There's a song
Jack
called-
Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah, yours is just pancake.
Oh,
Pancakes. She's doing a video. Did you get your video done?
No, I'm still working it out, so I'll probably start shooting next one.
oh, I
Cool
would
is
love to
that?
hear you sing. I would love to hear
She's
you
got it
sing.
YouTube or Instagram or in. Where's your channel at?
It's on everything.
It's on everything.
Spotify, Apple Music,
Yes,
Pandora.
she's got music out there.
Well, I'm going to have to find it.
Yeah. All right, so we got our 10A and 10B done. So let's put this one with A. So here's our A.
Is that
Put a
right?
pin in it. And here is our B unit. So we're halfway done. We've got to make 2 more of each one of these. A and B units. How pretty is that block? That's just pretty. I think my favorite block, I think the prettiest block is probably block 5.
I like this block.
Yeah, I really like block 5, A and B. I think it's just beautiful. Just this, it just kind of makes it pop right here.
Yeah.
Now you know block number 1 is the absolute center of the quilt. So and then I like the 3. I like block 3 too. So I'm kind of looking forward to, you know, in just a couple of months we'll be putting it all together. So block 10 A and B was actually quite fun. It's very easy. It looks like next month when we do our next block, and again that's in September. Let's just talk about that for a minute. It is block 9. Don't get intimidated by it because I actually looked at it. It's really not as bad as what we think. You've got these long pieces that are going to be 3.5 by 60.5 inches long. You're going to be making 4 of those. And then you're going to be making these 12 A's, 12 B's, 13 A's, and 13 B's. But when you look at it, 12A and 12B is a half square triangle with just solid pieces sewed on the sides of it. So I think it's the same. If you take your 2 fabrics, you make your half square triangles, you have 2. So you're going to use it for both the A and the B. And then it looks like 13A and B is the same thing. You have a half square triangle on each end. and then you've got solid pieces. So those are, I think, from what I was looking at the actual layout of the quilt, they're kind of like fillers. But you got these 13, got these long pieces for block 11. Well, I see 4 flying geese in it, and then I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 half square triangles, and knowing that it's bringing it into a mirror image, so the ones on the end is the same block, and then you go through the flying geese, and then you got the next one. Those are the same. Then you got a solid block, and then you got a flying geese, and then you got half square triangles, and then you've got 2 more half square. And the middle one, the very absolute middle of block 11, I think was large covered corners, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't we say that's what that was?
I believe so.
Where was it? I could be wrong. It was the very center. Block 11, the very center of block 11 is, it's unit 2, it's a flying geese unit. It's a flying geese with half square triangles. I mean, it's just it's all the elements that we've been doing all year long. Your half square triangles, your flying geese units, and then we're just putting it all together. So it's like eating an elephant, right? It's just a bite at a time. She hates that. She hates when I say that.
Poor elephant.
Yeah, poor elephant. But you just take little chunks at a time. This huge quilt, which was intimidating me. It's been a long time since I've done block of the months. I've never done a block of the month with batiks.
Yeah.
So this was a first for me, but I just absolutely love it. And I can't wait to start on the next one. And those of you who are getting on here might be a little bit late. Again, this is the one we're going to be doing next. Pre-sales, I hope, will start in September, and it's called Mystic Vineyard. There's actually some pictures up there, and I know earlier in the show we had the video up there. We have enough to make 20 of these kits. It makes a 97 by 106 project. Let's see if I think I got it in here. When we were putting these kits together, I was trying to remember how many yards you actually had in the whole project. I think I've got it in here.
For this one.
Is it this piece right here at the end? No. Yeah, I was trying to find how many yardage we had in this one. See my note. Okay, so when you did this block, when we got everything together, not including the backing, the kit that you're doing right now was 25 yards. It was 25 yards of fabric. It's less. So this project right here, our Tealing Good, was 25 yards of fabric. This one right here, our new one we're going to be doing, is it's 97 by 106, and it is like 20 and a half yards of fabric, or it's actually 20 and 3/8. So it's a little bit less fabric, so that means when it's less fabric but just as big, that means there's not as much seams. Less seams.
Less seams.
So that is coming up. So I hope you want to sign up and get the kits and join us on that one, because that one's going to be starting in January. I haven't got the dates actually figured out if we're going to be doing it on Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday seems to work real good, and the last Tuesday of the month seems to work out real well with everybody. So we'll figure it out. But it's absolutely beautiful. It's purples and greens, and we've seen the fabric. It's stunning. So that's our next one. We got the most votes on that one. So that's it for today's class. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, please put them into the comments that you see right here, even if you're watching this on the replay, because I do go in there later on this evening, and I'll kind of go through and read the comments and see if there's anything I need to address. But Alina's really good to letting us know if there's anything that needs to be popped up on. Wasn't it good to have Margot with us today? Mark, let her go. Let her come in today, and she'll be with me tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to be putting kits together. So we got to.
If I don't have a surgerized toe.
If you what?
If I don't have a surgerized toe.
If she don't have the surgery, she had how long ago was it? 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So she had surgery on her toe about 3 weeks ago, and she's looking to have possibly another one. So if she doesn't have to have the surgery tomorrow, then she'll be coming in, right?
Right.
All right, well, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We will get together again. We have weekly wrap-up on Friday, but then next time we get together for our block of the month, I know I told the date, and I can't remember what it was, but it's in September, the last Tuesday of September, and it is September the... Terrible. September the 24th is our next block of the month, so you got plenty of time to get yourself all caught up, because we just did 2 weeks ago, we did block number 7. Now we just did block number 8. So get yourself all cut up, and I'll see you guys again real soon. Thank you so much. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.